First of all, Your Excellency, please, my my sincere appreciation to you for giving me the honor to be on this Zoom and share my experiences with you. You are a true testament to the success of hospitality in Nigeria, and I congratulate you with all my heart.
Thank you.
Um,
Thank you.
I think the way I look at it is from the perspective of Detty December. I look at it from a perspective of not only just how my hotels did, but I think the fact that we are now we have now managed to establish a brand in itself and how everyone benefits from it. So I think that is the most important thing because I think the true success lies in the fact that it will keep happening year over year over year, and we just keep packaging it in a much formidable way. That is true success, rather than having that than just enjoying it 1 or 2 years, because it truly has come with a wave of optimism, and I feel that we can ride on the success of this. I think you're right. Delhi December is no longer just a festive season. It has evolved into one of the most major economic and hospitality, driver for Lagos, uh, and increasingly for West Africa. I think what has really happened is what I've really learned from this whole experience is the fact that when you talk about the hotel experience, I think the diaspora effect is so powerful that gives me a lot of learning. A large portion of demand is emotional travel, reconnecting with family, culture, and identity. So this changes booking patterns, spend behavior, and even the length of stay at the hotel. So um, I think can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you, sir.
Okay, okay, great. I thought there was a disconnect somewhere. Okay, so what I was saying is that it's based on a lot of emotion and the fact that it has a very powerful diaspora effect. Uh, F&B and events become critical profit drivers because in many cases the real upside is not only the occupancy at the hotels, but obviously the fact that a lot of total spend comes across restaurants, nightlife, our pool experiences, and events. But it comes with its share of operational pressures, and they increase sharply because you see the guest expectations rise significantly during peak season. Staffing, security, maintenance, response times, and service recovery becomes even more important when the hotel is running at high occupancy. Because you see, like I said in the at earlier also, we need to make sure that we give such an experience that people remember, and it becomes a year on year phenomena rather than it becomes a 1 year wonder and it evaporates. So we have to keep that in mind. Social media is playing its part. Social media now influences hotel performance. So one viral venue, brunch, rooftop, or influencer moment can materially impact business levels, and visibility and relevance do matter a lot. When it comes to this period. So, what are the encouraging signs? The encouraging signs are that domestic and regional travel continue to grow year over year. When I look at the numbers, I see that while international arrivals are important, I'm seeing a very stronger contribution from the Nigerian and intra-African travelers who increasingly choose lifestyle and experiences. So that is something that this is it's a very key positive takeaway from Letty December. But again, like I said, it comes with its fair share of challenges. We see a lot of families lodging into the hotel. So when families are coming in, then obviously the requirements, the F&B arrangements. Yeah, it's a festive period, so people want everything to be done in a right way. It's no longer meals, it's feasts. And when you are hosting feasts, you have to make sure that you don't upset anybody. So that's why it's a lot of work, and we have to make sure that we have the appropriate staffing. The stock levels are looked at in a more comprehensive way. I think another thing that comes to my head is the fact that even during these high demand periods, Lagos still remains a value sensitive market relative to some global gateway cities. So pricing war still goes on. Sustainable pricing strategy matters more than short-term spikes. But overall, for me, Delhi December is a very strong study case in how hospitality, entertainment, aviation, food culture, and tourism can collectively shape and destination demand. However, I feel that as the years will progress, and I really hope that infrastructure, security, air connectivity, and destination marketing needs uh, to also become much stronger in order to make this a much more formidable product. I think there are some lackings in these areas, but again, like I said, we have to look at it from a positive perspective. I think it's very heart warming to see that there are some recent upgrades happening at the airport, and I hope that this will only make this thing better over the years. I wish the aviation authorities all their best because I think we really needed this at this time. And I also saw, there's so many things happening. Rwanda has eased the process for visas for Nigerians. I'm sure the reciprocation will come from this side also. So so all in all, these are very positive signs. And Your Excellency, that is how I see how Detty December has shaped up for hotels in Lagos, especially the Radisson Hotel Group.
Okay, thank you. You raised quite a lot of points that I'll take you on. But first of all, uh, Rwanda is the first nation in Africa
Hmm.
that Nigeria is actually giving a visa waiver. We have been pushing for
Hmm.
Rwanda and Kenya, who also give us
Yes.
some. Yeah. West Africans are free to come anytime; they don't need visa. Our neighbors,
Hmm.
Cameroon, Chad. So
Yes.
Rwanda, that is massive for me, who has been pushing this. So I'm expecting that in the next 1 week or so, we'll hear that
Yes.
Kenya also gets a visa waiver. Hopefully, Nigeria can join the
Hmm.
whole of Africa in taking out visas. At least 6 African nations are doing that now. So we hope Nigeria will eventually join. So thank you for bringing that up. But there are questions I want to ask. Um, we know about the
No,
power
absolutely.
challenges.
Your Excellency, there's always a lot of discussion on this topic.
Yeah, go ahead.
No, go ahead. I
Mhm.
think we just not syncing here.
Okay. So we want to have figures. What was the percentage occupancy in your hotels during this period?
Hmm.
One. Two, we also want to know some of the challenges. People talked about parking. People talked about price gouging. But you said the market
Hmm.
still balanced. I don't think so. We had outrageous uh, prices for rooms. Some are apartments, some are
Hmm.
in the hotel. But you said the market was still sensitive to that. Maybe your own hotel chain. But we
Hmm.
want you to unpack just two things. The challenges outside power security that you've named. People who come there, they talk there was parking problem in most hotels. They talked about price gouging. They
Hmm.
talked about what else? Lack of attention, but that we can say comes from too
Hmm.
many people being there in a short time. So you raised some very
Yes.
good points, but I want you to give us an idea so that we can encourage.
Hmm.
Thank you for the credit for the aviation environment. That gives me joy. I've been to that airport like 20 times this year, and I'm impressed with
Hmm.
what is going on. So, can you
Hmm.
unpack just those two parts of your presentation so that we can have a deeper understanding of what happens and what we need to do?
Okay, so like I said, the challenges are there. It's not that this period is free of any challenges. Uh, Obviously, at my hotel, if you look at if you talk about the occupancy levels, obviously we are talking about high 90s. Maybe there were consecutive days where we were running 100% occupancy. But again, for me, that's not the important part. I think the most important part is the fact that what experience do we provide these guests with, because it's easy to fill a hotel, but you also have to do a lot of groundwork to make sure that each and every experience that will be provided to these guests will be memorable and they will be more eager to return the following year. So for that, what we do is obviously adequate parking spaces, heat, light, and power has to be managed in a way. Yes, Heat, light, and power costs is a different debate, because obviously those costs have been going up over the roof. But by the grace of God, we have also managed to find the right balance on that. We can have a more elaborate chat on that. But coming back to your question, yes. So the trouble, the challenges start from the airport. That's where there are long lines. People are queuing up to get out of the airport. Then obviously when you come out, then there's a huge chaos on pickup. So these are some feedbacks that comes to us. So primarily, that is one of the bigger set of challenges. Now, when you mention rates, yes, in the last 2 or 3 years, you also have to understand that the Airbnb aspect of the business has also activated, and now there are a lot of facilities within Lagos that have activated their Airbnb business model. Some are successful, some are not successful, but yes, they do indirectly pose a threat to the hotels, because then they are charging rates where the rates are really not governed, or they just more or less charge whatever comes. Whatever they feel is best to capitalize on this market at that time. So yes, that is one angle of it where we see that. But again, what happened? What happened this year, the last year in 2025, is that Airbnb fell flat because the experience was not there for the money that they were charging. And a lot of facilities that were running Airbnbs were running it without permission of their local, bodies. So they kind of saw this as a security threat to that particular area or facility where the Airbnb was operating. I'll give you an example. Where I live in Banana Island, and a lot of apartments in Banana Island were given out as Airbnbs. A lot of security related issues happened in these areas, and that's why there's a complete ban on Airbnbs in some parts of Ikoyi and Banana Island that we speak. Uh, so that's one aspect of it, and because I speak for the way we operate our hotels, so we have managed to make sure that we find the right balance between the crowd and quality. Because I think that goes hand in hand for me. I'm not interested in filling up hotels. I am more interested in the fact that we have the right people in and we give them the right experience.
Okay, thank you. The